All right, welcome to Tea Time with Olive. I'm here with Joshua. He's running for District 9 in San Francisco. Welcome to Tea
Thank you.
Time. Here we are.
Here we
Salute.
are, yes.
Yeah, we got to drink. We got to take a
Yeah, it's
sip.
bad luck not to.
I've heard that before, money time.
Uh-huh.
So, Joshua, go ahead and introduce yourself for our audience.
Well, it is an honor to be here. I have to thank you for the invitation and for the tea. My name is Joshua Arce. I'm a candidate for the San Francisco County Board of Supervisors in the city and county of San Francisco.
Right.
I'm running to represent District 9,
Right.
which is my neighborhood where I live, which is the Mission District, for folks that may know the Mission.
Right.
As well as Bernal
Popular
Heights,
district.
very much so. Yes.
Right.
Bernal Heights, St.
Right.
Mary's Park, and the Portola neighborhoods.
Yep.
And
yep.
it's an amazing district, one of 11, and I'm running in the November election.
A lot of activities happening, I should say. So actually, that's how you got my interest when it's at District 9, and I was, Gladys with my friend on Facebook. I sent her a message. I said, "Can I do an interview?" And thank you for responding right away. So we owe it to you. So go ahead and tell us. I went through your page. I Googled District 9. And I've seen people's interviews, people's comments. People love you. People really love him. They do. Yeah, and seems like, as far as coming, getting money together for all these campaigns for running, seems like you got a lot of people involved. And it seems like they're volunteering. It doesn't seem like you're really asking for anything.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm a civil rights attorney, so I always have been since day one of getting out of law school. I've always worked with people, and I've worked with people who are trying to stay in their homes, tenants facing evictions.
Right.
I've worked with people trying to get jobs that they need to stay in our communities and in our city or the Bay Area. And I work with people trying to make a healthier environment in their community. I was the first Latino president of the San Francisco Environment Commission, so I really sought to bring that all together, not just the environmental initiatives, but what we do in our culture, what we do in other languages. We have a different approach to the same idea, which is the planet and our neighborhoods, environments. And so I think for me as a candidate, it really hit home when we had our campaign kickoff earlier this year in February. And it was, they tell me it was the biggest kickoff ever for a Board of Supervisors campaign in the district elections. We had more than 400 people come out.
Wow.
And for me, I think of politics as really something positive that can have a lot of positive change on people's lives. And particularly in the Mission District, people are looking for hope. People are looking for optimism at an important time.
Sometimes I feel like they need a voice. They need somebody to just listen to their voice and take it out there, because they feel like as sometimes you feel like you're poor or people are not going to listen to you. You feel like you're nobody. But then somebody comes and represents you. Somebody's going to say, "Hey, you have a voice. Let me listen to your concern and let me take it out there." And especially you being one of them, you're among them. You're one of the people. You're not somebody from high here to go into City Hall and walk in there and say, "Hey, you're one of the people." That's how I see it. At least that's what I got from his page, honestly.
Well, we are who we are, and for me, I think I am one of the people that I work with, that and sometimes I represent as their attorney. I sometimes work side by side as an activist. I walk down the street with neighbors and families, and we're raising a family myself. My wife Lisa is an immigration attorney, and so I get the chance to work with people not just in seeking to represent them, but as friends, and we spend time in one another's homes.
That's true. Being a family man and walking into districts with the people, you're handshaking and you're taking pictures with them, you're just making them feel comfortable to even probably open up to you, And sometimes I tell people, honestly, you need to get out there. You need to vote. There's a lot of activities happens in the cities that you could get your voice heard. You could go write your concerns, talk about your concerns. But if you're not out there voting, it's like voting for the wrong person, and then you complain. Come on, man. You need to get out there. You need to get out there. But honestly, let's talk about some of the major issues that you think that you're on top of your list. That, God, if I did this, this is what I'm gonna do. What are some of those things?
The big issue that we face is this affordability crisis, which is not just something that's happening in San Francisco, it's happening in Oakland, it's happening across the Bay Area. But in our neighborhood, in the Mission District, in District 9, it is very focused, and it's a very devastating crisis for working class communities, for the Latino community, for people from all walks of life who are just struggling to make it. It's ripping us apart. And a big part of it is our City Hall representatives built no affordable housing for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Think about that. For the number one issue to be that slow to act and let it get to this point where we have a homelessness epidemic, waves of evictions, fires, loss of businesses, it's terrible. And that's why I'm running to change the status quo in City Hall.
Wow. For over 10 years?
10 years.
Wow. I had no idea. Now I see where the problems are rising.
Well, it's all connected. You know, it's connected to income inequality. It's connected to so many things. And for me, when I chaired the Environment Commission, I passed a resolution that supported the creation of a Latino cultural district in my community on 24th Street, an effort that a lot of people in the neighborhood have been working on, and really making it a big tent, making it something where people from all walks of life can say that we're in this together, whether we're Black, brown, Asian, white, wherever we come from, that we believe that this is a community that's under pressure, that we're losing, that's an important part of the city, and the history of this neighborhood, that we're going to do something about it.
Absolutely. And, you know, District 9 is just one of the, I think it's a busy district.
It is.
It's and when you walk in there, you know, being Persian or Afghan, me walking in there, I don't feel like I'm not one of them, because you get to see all the different colors. Although people ask me if I'm from what part of Mexico I'm from, but it's a district that's a lot happening. There's a lot of businesses, a lot of small businesses. How are the small businesses are?
We're losing a small business a week at this rate. It's all connected, as I said, the loss of families, the loss of businesses, the homelessness epidemic, and at the same time, you said something, Olive, which is very important, which is with whatever background you have, whatever country you come from, if you've been here a long time or a short time, you know, if you're Latino, Iruni, you're any whatever background.
Oh, you said that right.
Iruni Hastan.
Oh, you are?
No, I just know how to say Iruni Hastan.
Really? Okay.
And but the fact is that I have a lot of Persian friends.
Oh, okay.
No, but the fact is that nobody wants to be pitied.
Right.
If you go, I represent each and every resident in the resident councils of our public housing community.
Right.
And those are people who are, you know, on the outside, they say, oh, wow, you know, they're really struggling. They need federally subsidized housing to stay in the city. And, oh, this is something to, feel some pity about. You go to the community, and we had a resident meeting in Bernal Heights, a place called Holly Courts Public Housing, just 2 nights ago. And it's the most amazing spirit, the strongest people you would imagine, the most optimistic, the most inspiring, down to earth, and nobody wants to be pitied. And that I think is something we're trying to change in our campaign. Is there are a lot of people that are having a bad go, and we are all under pressure. We've almost been evicted, my wife and I and our 2 sons. We almost were facing an eviction, depending on who bought our building when it went up for sale. But you don't need pity. You need strength, and you need optimism. You need to have a plan. You need to have leadership, and it's what we've been missing for many, many years in our district.
Right. And how many candidates are running for council for district?
There's 4 of us running.
All right. So I did go through some of the other candidates, but it seems like you do have a good amount of people that are following you, and I could see the numbers. But then again, it's I think a lot of people look down or don't look the same at the average people, middle class, I should say. They are when you're very wealthy and rich, I think you kind of forget that little people like me, we're kind of happy where we are. You know, we look at the world different. There are people needed to do the jobs that we do. So if everybody was millionaires in the country, right, then who would do the jobs that we do? So there are average people that are there. So, you know, yes, of course, as part of the community, part of residents, they need our assistance. We need to help them. We need to guide them. There should be housing available for them. There need to be activities for their children, the same activities as a millionaire of children, but then it should be some kind of assistance for them to go, because you don't know what their kid's going to grow up to be. Right. So if we need to control the future, if you need to control the gangs, if you need to control your community, you want to have a better community, then yes, you need to start from bottom down, right? I mean, you have two young boys, I see. And I'm sure they're very active in a lot of different things.
They are. Now, our older son named Desmond, he's about to be 5, so he's old enough to get involved in activities.
How cute.
Yes,
okay.
But he's proud. He's just like friends of mine who were born and raised in our neighborhood. In the Mission District, it's a badge of honor that people wear. There's a longtime labor leader, and he was a commissioner on multiple commissions, named Jim Salinas. He was born in the Mission, born and raised, and he was able to buy a home in another neighborhood, but he's very active, and he always says that you can take the boy out of the mission, but you can never take the mission out of the boy. And so it's something that's very, yes. It's something that for my son, so if you talk to our sons, our youngest son is a year and a half, so he doesn't say much beyond eat and cookie. But the older boy, if you ask him, where are you from, he'll say, soy de la misión. I'm from the mission. It's in his heart already. And that's what we're trying to preserve in our community. Every neighborhood has needs. You go, the south side of our district is very, has really had a situation where it's lacked resources available to other neighborhoods, particularly on parks and open spaces. McLaren Park, I want to put in a plug for McLaren Park. Go there, Jerry Garcia Amphitheater. There's a free concert series just about every Saturday for the next couple weeks, and it's actually the second biggest park in San Francisco, making it one of the biggest in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I think I've probably been there. Sounds very familiar, but you just forget some areas. I gotta go check it out. But then you made a comment earlier about leadership, and I think leadership is very important in any community that has the heart that you have, that you feel the people in the Mission District, and there's a lot of sources are out there. It's just if you don't, and sometimes I get upset because when the complaint arises, they're gonna say, oh, well, this is here, that's there, and you didn't know about. How are they going to know about it if they're not involved? Right. If you're not in the schools, if you're not presenting yourself, if you're not talking about, how they know what sources are out there? So in a way, I hate to say it, hate me if you want, bad leadership. If you don't talk about it, if you don't put the word out there, then you know what? Wait for problems to arise. Right. Then taking care of the problem is bigger and cost more than if you already took care of it before it happened. So there's how's the school districts doing there?
We actually have a situation where we have the schools that are ranked last in the city. We have many of them in our district. Now for me, we're gonna go to local public schools. That's how I was raised. Right. I was the first in my family to go to college, certainly the first to go to law school. My great-grandfather came to this country from Mexico, from the state of Sonora, and he picked walnuts in Ventura, and every generation followed up a little bit more the economic ladder, as I think is the American dream. And public schools was everything for me, exposure to languages, diversity, all walks of life, and so we're going to go to the local public schools. The numbers are just numbers when they talk about rankings or these scores, and I don't really subscribe that much to it. But for what it's worth, we just haven't had a lot of certain of the resources. It's something that I want to change. You can only do so much as a county supervisor because we have a board of education, but there is a lot you can do.
But I'm a big believer that if the more, if there's right leader there and there's the people are involved, if they support you, anything is possible. If they want changes, if they want music in their school, if they want art in their school, if they want this kind of, anything is possible, but it has to be a teamwork. It has to be a group, and they have to support you to get their voice heard. You know, they have to get out and they have to talk about it. And yes, there's a lot of sources, but you also need to be involved. And one of the things is voting. Get out, vote, vote for Josh.
I like the sound of that.
Vote for Josh right here. And so when is that the big day? What date?
Big day is Tuesday, November 8th.
Okay.
And you know, one of the things I just want to say, because you made me think of something, because you have to think where we're in the Bay Area, we're very fortunate to have a lot of forward, progressive thinking. I think that's particularly true of the elected leaders that people want in San Francisco, Oakland as well. And I think one of the things that's important is that San Francisco and in our district is expecting leaders that inspire, that think bigger than all of us, that think of where we fit in as a city, as a Bay Area, and as a people across the country. And the role that we play in changing hearts and minds, marriage equality, the push to have marriage equality be the law of the land started in San Francisco in many ways. It was happening everywhere, but it was our mayor at the time, Gavin Newsom, who once he started issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples in Valentine's Day 2014 or 2004 rather, it really started to snowball in our lifetimes, and it is where we are now.
Absolutely.
And I've done these things. We've shut down dirty power plants. We banned coal from coming into the port of San Francisco. We took that policy and gave it to organizers in Oakland to help to successfully block coal from coming in the port of Oakland. Worked to pass the strongest local hiring law in the country to guarantee jobs for the community and construction. And but at the same time, people, when you look at local government, you have to deliver for the day-to-day, those artists who are struggling to stay in the city, those limited English speakers who want to know how to connect to government and have a safe community, people who want to know where to turn to get out of tents, and you have to deliver for that. And one of the things that I've learned knocking on 12,000 doors in our district is people can't even get their emails returned or their phone calls answered from the current folks in our current office, and that's, to me, is one of the easiest things to change, because if you write me an email at joshua@joshuaarce.com, you can expect a response.
Say that again one more time.
joshua@joshuaarce.com, JOSHUAARCE.com. You can expect a response. You can even expect me to come knock on your door, expect me to come to a neighborhood meeting, because if local government can't deliver on the day-to-day needs of people, on workers, families, artists, all the amazing diversity that we have of our city in the Bay Area, but particularly in our district, if you can't deliver on that, then you're not going to have the support of the people to deliver on the big ideas and the big progressive policy ideas, because that's what's happened. Some of the ideas that have come from the folks currently in office have just been thrown out by the courts, and then we get nothing. So we've got to be more effective. People are looking for change everywhere I go, and it's exciting to be part of this process.
Absolutely. You know, in some districts, I'm not talking about, San Francisco, but some districts around our Bay Area, unfortunately, it has a lot in Oakland. And sometimes when you cross the street, you see balloons and you see candles, and so often in so many different corners, as a 5-year-old child, what goes through your head? Okay, when I grow up, either I have to join a really good gang to be safe, or if it's a girl, I have to date somebody from a really good gang, right? So those are the two things. And then what do you expect? But there's not a lot of activities. There's not a lot of positive activities for teenagers, for the families, jobs, creating jobs. And those are some of the things that I actually personally think that, as a leader, as a good leader, people should, they should look into that group of people to create stuff for them, either activities in schools or jobs or things for them to do. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I think that's the whole idea. I think there's so much to be gained from the togetherness.
Right.
And if you look at our coalition, like I say, we had 400 people come for our kickoff. And when we opened our office in the heart of the mission,
awesome.
yes, it was quite inspiring. But it's people from all walks of life. It's all backgrounds, all languages. People that are struggling and or need some some teamwork to make it, and people that have made it and are part of that team. So I think there's just so much to be gained in that togetherness that inspires me every day.
Right.
You know, we've had a lot of political division in our district in particular. A lot of people who don't know where they fit in or have been targeted and have been told they're the problem, get out of here, by the political forces that have been kind of running the show.
Right.
And I don't believe in that.
Right.
I believe that we are, in our community, we're one mission, we're one District 9, all these different neighborhoods, and we're one city, and if we go above that to everybody else out there, we're one Bay Area as well.
That's true. And you know what affects in San Francisco, because when you're in other countries, people say, where do you live? When you say California, it automatically thinks the whole California is San Francisco.
Yeah.
You know, so what happens in San Francisco really affects the whole state, definitely. I should say. But so you have any ideas of what your thoughts are about the presidential campaign, that what's going on? Yes.
You know, it was interesting. I endorsed Hillary Clinton early and had the chance to meet her on the basis of that endorsement. And I talked with her. I'm someone who comes from a labor background in my family, and I'm a member of one of the local unions, Labor's Local 261.
Okay.
And we build roads, we put up solar panels, we build housing.
I did saw that on the website.
Did you see that? Yes. And so I had mentioned to her, it's something I'm proud of, and we supported her early as well. And I was amazed that here's someone who meets so many people during a given day, during a given hour, and the time that we spent together was very clear to me. She was aware of what we're dealing with in the Mission District. She was aware of what we're trying to do in terms of the labor movement and supporting workers, and I feel very strongly she's going to win, and it's something I talk about. Because the alternative is just a disaster of epic proportions.
Absolutely, and we don't want to go there. We don't want people hate on us. But yes, well, I'm glad now. I feel comfortable now. You got another support. I'll support you for that now. And I know a lot of people will. But how about if you could help people an easier way so they could get out and vote? Where do you have some locations that makes it easy for them to
vote? So I'm actually a partner with the Secretary of State, Alex Padilla. He's endorsed me in this race, and I'm working with him on registering voters, helping make sure people who might not think they're eligible to vote actually do get out there and vote. There's online registration now. There is also efforts to beyond that to think through what we call open source voting, which is more inclusive, more reliable. Sometimes the voting system is based on old machinery and old computers and old software. We're trying to open that up. And so for me, and why I'm proud to be a member of the Democratic Party, is I feel that the Democratic Party is about opening up the process and bringing more and more people in. We're talking about lowering the voting age to 16 in San Francisco, which I support. And I'm on the steering committee of a measure that we call the Immigrant Parent Right to Vote Act, which says that regardless of your ability to register for other elections, if you're a parent of school-age children in San Francisco, you can vote in school board elections. And so that's something exciting that other cities have done, and we're seeking to do it in San Francisco.
Great, that's wonderful. So let's see, to make it easier for people to vote again. So they could, do you have some addresses, specific addresses that they could go, or they can go any schools or?
So there's, I would say for anybody watching out there, you can go to the Secretary of State's website would be the easiest way. You can go to, depending on your city, you can go to your Department of Elections website, and the county has a website. Because some people are not computer
people, they just don't know how, or they don't have access to it. And we want everybody out there to get out and vote. If you want change, to me it doesn't even matter if you're homeless, because you're not born to be homeless. There's a purpose for you, and if you want to change your life, you need to get out. You need to vote. We did a little research. Even if you're homeless, you could vote. You could use a local address, right?
That's right.
So get out there, and so if they don't have access to computer, can they go local library
and library and post office? Post office are two good places.
Okay. So get out there, and people will help you. Will help you fill out the application, and Do they need to have an ID? I
When
just
you
want to make
register,
it
no.
as easy as possible.
Just
out
fill
there.
out the information. It's you drop it in the mail. It gets
Okay.
processed, and there's still a few weeks left to do that. So there's definitely time to get out there. This is a very important election, obviously nationally, and
Yes.
certainly in city and county San Francisco, and I think most of the cities. I know
Absolutely.
Richmond's got a big city council race
Yes.
coming up, and Oakland. I don't know if Oakland have city council this year or no. I think they just went through it. Right?
I just had a city council member she came for an interview. They're doing it too.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on the run too. But
Yeah, of course, right.
Yeah, but any district, any city you live, I know a lot of people. You ask, they're like, I don't know who's my mayor. You need to get involved. You want changes. You want a better life. You want a better school for your kids. You want a better community. You want housing. You need to get your voice heard. And when you have a good leader like Joshua right here that gets your voice out there, then you need to be more involved out there. Don't expect them to go, who needs help? So, yeah.
It won't happen. And it is an important time. I think people are really thinking. I heard this last night. I was at somebody's home in the Bernal Heights neighborhood, and there was about 25 people there saying that they were thinking about the toxicity of the politics at the national level and just the divisiveness, and people really thinking more locally again. And particularly in our Bay Area cities, and San Francisco certainly is one of them that is very impacted by the affordability crisis and the costs of apartments, the amount of savings and what you have to pay to actually purchase a home.
Right.
These are things you can change at the local level if you're supporting people who actually have a plan to build housing. I'm the only candidate running in our race that actually has a plan of how we're going to build the housing we need that's affordable for all of us.
Right.
For people that are struggling, low income, to people who are in the middle, like you had mentioned, and everybody in between, our artists, our seniors, our working class, and our teachers, our nonprofit workers, and that's something that's very important and happens at the local level.
Absolutely. Let's get together and make a better community. I mean, San Francisco is beautiful, and we need to keep it that way and make it more better for the future generation, make it more welcoming, make it so beautiful that just like everybody from all over the world, they just come to visit. Keep it that way. And that only happens if you have the right leader.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And we got a leader here, people.
Yes.
Get out there and
Get
vote.
out there.
And we're going to encourage you as much as you can. Can you go ahead and tell them your website, your email, if there's a phone number, size of your shoes, whatever?
Yes.
Get it out there for them.
Yeah, so you can find us at
right.
You can find us out. No problem. It's that's proof that we're live.
Yeah.
So you can find us at joshuaarce.com, JOSHUAARCE.com. You can email me at joshua@joshuaarce.com. Also want to make sure that folks know that it's important to get out there and vote yes on Prop 55. It's very important to do. And there's yet another reason to get out there and vote.
There you go. Yes.
You can email me. You can call us. You can. What's a good number to call, Gladys? What's the hotline there? Actually, the hotline is right there at joshuaarce.com. We're trying to make sure folks go to our website.
Exactly. Yeah.
But hit me up on Facebook. We're on Twitter. I'm at Josh Arce ASF is my handle on Twitter. JOSHARCESF.
Okay.
And come to visit us at 3119 24th Street at Folsom in the heart of the Mission.
And there's a lot happening. It's a big district that don't think your voice is not going to get heard. They might not get to you right away, but they will get to you. If they don't get to you, one of their members will get to you. So anyways, thank you for watching the show. This was Tea Time with Olive. Thank you.
Thank you, Olive. Thank you, everyone.